Well, happy Sunday. This is Bill Steffen. Thanks for checking out my video log for today. And we have a rather pleasant day for this Sunday before some pretty chilly air moves into the picture for Monday and on Tuesday. Start out with a picture I took at the Alpine Athletic Field, which is up in Alpine Township. Standing water that's there, and we haven't had a lot of super heavy rains here, but still the ground cold is probably still frozen underneath perhaps, and because of that, the ground can't take all the water in that we've had, and we have some standing water there. There was actually water going over the path there in the southeast corner of the field, and the picture on the right is a cornfield that has some intermittent water in it, and there's a big enough puddle out there that I would suspect it's about 18 inches deep, and there were three duck couples out there, male and female mallards, that each had an end of the pond. They were kind of split three ways, and they gave me a nice little friendly quack as I went by today. There were a couple of different layers of clouds if you were watching today, and you can see in that picture there that we had a little bit of low cloudiness there. That's some lower stratocumulus clouds that were kind of scattered. They were a little bit more prominent as you went off to the east and southeast of town, and then that top layer is cirrostratus. And the sun was dimly shining through that, but temperatures were up around 50. There was kind of a cool breeze today, but really not a bad day. Well, the big weather story continues to be the heavy rain that's falling in the Ohio River Valley and down throughout portions of the south. 48-hour totals included over a foot of rain, and a foot of snow is bad enough, but a foot of rain at Mayfield and Simonia, Kentucky. A place called Grand Rivers in Kentucky had over 11 inches. We've got the other totals there, as you can see. Cape Girardeau, Missouri was in the Boot Heel, the earthquake-prone part of Missouri. We had almost 8 inches of rain at Texarkana on the Texas side of the border there. Memphis with almost 7 inches, and Little Rock with almost 7 inches as well. And what's interesting is that they're going to be seeing more rain down there, and that will cause additional flooding problems. This is precipitation over the next 72 hours, and you can see a tremendous amount of water there. Anything in the yellow color is over 1.5 inches, and we've got red and orange up there indicating there'll be some totals again up around 4 or 5 inches. All the severe storms, though, will be staying off to the south of Michigan. You can see the next storm coming into the Pacific Northwest, producing some heavier rainfalls there, too. So let's take a look at our chances for severe weather. This is for later today, this Sunday into Sunday night. We don't have any high or moderate outlooks or enhanced. We have just a slight risk, which is level 2 out of the 5 levels we have. And then the green there, the darker green, is a marginal outlook, but you can see those areas kind of under the gun. And I know you probably can't read the fine print there, but Birmingham, Alabama is still in the crosshairs for heavy thunderstorms here late tonight and perhaps again during the day tomorrow. The next day, as we head into Monday, we're down to a marginal outlook, and that's from the Gulf of whatever you want to call it to the Outer Banks of North Carolina. And again, the greater threat would be just a very isolated report of some strong winds, but a little bit of rain. This time of year, they're often happy to get the rain down toward Florida because it's kind of warm and dry there very often during the spring. Well, here's a look at how much rainfall is expected during the next 2 days, and this is the flood outlook, and that area seeing some extreme flooding now from northern Louisiana up into Kentucky. And again, all of that stays south of us. Grand River cresting today at pretty close to flood stage in Comstock Park. Other rivers pretty much staying below flood stage. Well, it is time to thank our sponsors. Thank you so much for helping us along. Let's hear from them.
Need a fast, efficient, and affordable cleaning service? Complete Care Concierge has you covered. Serving all of West Michigan, we offer one-time, daily, weekly, and bi-weekly cleans, plus move in, move out. We also service apartment hallways and laundry rooms. Our work is guaranteed, gift cards are available, and we even clean on weekends. There's no better way to say I love you than giving a tired mom a break from dishes and laundry. Are you a busy professional? Pamper yourself by taking vacuuming and dusting off your plate. Office manager? Keep your business looking and feeling its very best. Call 616-264-1397 today for a spotless space and total peace of mind.
When your home needs help, you might not know where to start. Why not ask Ace? We're always here to help. with Ace Handyman Services. Our talented craftsmen handle everything from drywall and carpentry to doors and kitchens. We're the neighbors you trust to get the job done right. Let's get started. Book your handyman appointment today. Ace Handyman Services, bringing helpful to your home.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Let's take a look at snowfall across the area and look at the blue across Michigan. It's not stopped yet for the season. We're going to be seeing a little bit more in the way of snow. Do want to point out, though, not only is there snow in parts of New England and the Adirondack Mountains of New York, but look down toward the Texas Panhandle. Places like Amarillo and Lubbock are going to see some snow. And it's interesting because they've had temperatures in the 80s a number of days. And now we flipped and they're going to be seeing some snow there. Let's zoom into Michigan here and show you what's going on. The darker blue indicates where we're going to see about 2 to 5 inches of new snow. Some of that will melt as it falls. The ground, of course, pretty warm at this time of year. But we could see a dusting of snow all the way down as far as Grand Rapids in that first light blue color. As you get up to the medium shades of blue there, you could be seeing about an inch on the grassy areas especially. And that would fall Sunday night into early Monday is when we would see some snow. And yes, they're going to snow it's going to snow in the UP, and there will be some slippery roads there as well. So it's interesting. They get snow late. I remember talking to somebody up there in Marquette once, and they said when they were a kid, they had a snow day in the second week of May. So it can happen up there in the UP. Well, let's take a look at what we have in store for us here. Partly cloudy skies, pleasant weather for today. Wind to be a little lighter than it's been of late. Probably up about 8-9 miles an hour or so during the afternoon. Snow showers possible, and in fact, even likely north of Grand Rapids here for Sunday night into Monday morning. Windy and cold on Monday. Boy, temperatures are going to be in the mid to upper 30s Monday afternoon with a pretty stiff northwest wind. It's not going to feel like we're in the second week of April. And not as cold the second half of the week. I think we have a couple of really cold days here relative to average Monday and Tuesday. By Wednesday afternoon, temperatures start to moderate. It won't get really warm around here, but certainly a little bit more tolerable here by the time we get to Wednesday, Thursday of next week. So today's weather, partly cloudy skies, temperature about 49, average highs about 53 for this time of year, so we're a tad underneath that. We're upper 20s during the early morning. Look for our humidity to be dropping to about 45% during the afternoon, so it should dry out some. Winds northwest to west at 5 to 10 miles an hour. So look at some high temperatures across the area. This is for this Sunday. The temperatures will be in the mid to upper 40s throughout southern lower Michigan and maybe up into the low 40s off to the north. They're trying to get all the power back on in northeast lower Michigan. At mid-afternoon, there were still 90% of Montmorency County without power, and they've been without power for a week. So it really it was a devastating, historic storm for northeastern lower Michigan, especially Otsego County, Alpena County. A lot of the city of Alpena, last I saw, was not back on the grid yet. So, keep those people in your thoughts. It's certainly a nasty situation up there. We'll move on to Monday and show you a couple of cold days coming up here. Look at all that blue. Temperatures may not get much above the freezing mark up across the northern part of our state with some snow on the ground. So that's pretty chilly, and it doesn't improve much for Tuesday. Tuesday's temperatures here should be still on the cold side, as you can see, but it starts to warm up in Wisconsin and Illinois, and I think some of that warmer air will filter on in here for Wednesday afternoon. So again, Monday, Tuesday look pretty chilly. Long range outlook on the 5-day forecast for you. We'll start with the 5-day forecast calling for temperatures in the upper 40s for today. Whitecaps play at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It shouldn't be too bad a day out there if you can find a place where there's a little bit of sunshine and blocked by the wind a little bit. It'd be nice sitting out there watching a baseball game. Monday, snow showers mainly in the morning. The temperature may struggle to 40, but that's about it. And we may be stuck only in the 30s here on Tuesday. That's about 15 degrees cooler than average. Should see some sunshine Tuesday and on Wednesday, and then some rain showers return for Wednesday night and on Thursday as temperatures head back up close to 50 here by Thursday afternoon. And now our long-range outlook, temperatures slightly warmer than average. As we get to that period around April 13th through the 19th, you're going to be seeing average temperatures are at least in the mid and maybe even upper 50s by the time we hit the latter part of that period there. So we're looking at some days when temperatures are going to be up above 60 degrees here. So you can look forward to some warmer air here by the time we hit mid-April here. In terms of rainfall, we're slightly above average, but keep in mind that I don't see any really big storms coming our way here over the next week or so, and that'll give the area rivers a chance to go down just a little bit. So let's look at our weather. We got some extra stuff to share with you. Michelle working at the airport for tonight, but this bulletin just in for us. We've got our final two teams for the March Madness NCAA men's basketball situation here. Florida defeating Auburn 79-73. And the other game was really exciting. Duke was ahead by 9 points in the second half, and Houston battled back to win at the end. It was really kind of an interesting finish to the game. If you ever want to, I'm sure that'll get posted somewhere, replayed. But the end of that game, pretty classic, and just 3 points. Houston beating Duke, making their free throws there at the end, and getting a couple of lucky breaks as well. So it's Houston and Florida in the final game at championship coming up here in Fort Worth. Advances to the NCAA hockey or NCAA basketball finals. No hockey news, I don't think. Let's go on and see what else we have here for you here on the list. On this date in 1886, we had a super snowstorm in southeastern Michigan. Detroit and the region hit with just up to 24 inches of snow. Drifts were up to 12 feet. Can you imagine that? Snow in the streets was up to 40 inches. And of course, that was before we had cars. So there was public transportation and a lot of walking. Bicycles, of course, aren't much use when there's 12-foot drifts. But we can get April snowstorms. I remember a snowstorm here in the Grand Rapids area and throughout the Northeast Illinois area where I was living in 1961. I think it was April 16 to 17, 1961, where we had about a foot of snowfall. So it can happen, but snow doesn't last very long this time of year because the average temperatures are up into the 50s already. A little bit more on the storm for you. Cold high pressure system moved into the Great Lakes. And of course, that made our precipitation snow instead of rain. The snow fell from 4:30 a.m. until 9 p.m. So it was all in one calendar day when we were hit with that big snowstorm. There's a look at the low pressure system that was coming up. High pressure to the north, and cold Arctic high pumping down the cold air. And you can see where the fronts were drawn. The blue line there, a cold front. Red line, a warm front. And you can see the secondary low pressure system developing there on the East Coast. But pretty amazing system. That was back on this date in 1886. Well, let's take a look at the map of Detroit. Detroit was a relatively small city in 1886, so we didn't have the cars or the manufacturing going on at the time. But you can see there that there was a core right down there by the river, and it took a while to come back from that storm that occurred in 1886. Today is Fresh Tomato Day. I'm surprised they don't have this in August or July when the tomatoes are coming in. And of course, we have many uses for tomatoes. They're a good source of a number of different vitamins and potassium, as you see right there. That was a picture taken in our backyard with some of the stuff that we grow. We have a raised garden that we plant and get some tomatoes off of that. And two of my daughters have gardens too that they plant, and they're already being plotted and planned out. But looking forward to that as the weather warms up here, get everything growing in the garden once again. What U.S. state grows the most tomatoes? I know we grow quite a few of them here in Michigan, but tomatoes grow just about anywhere. So let's try a big or warm state. I guess I'd be tempted to say Florida because it's warm down there and you can grow tomatoes in the wintertime. But let's see what the answer is to that. It is California. Take a look at that. Some nice California tomatoes. That Interior Valley has a wonderful Mediterranean type climate, and if they get ample rain there, or they get suitable irrigation, they can really grow some nice vegetables in that California inner valley there. Okay, on this date in 1817, the borough of Michilimackinac was formed. It was abolished in 1847 to reincorporate as the village of Mackinac. So that's interesting. And that's a picture of me. I was up there in the fall, had a great time. That's the first time I've stayed overnight on Mackinac Island. We stayed at one of the hotels there at the end of the year. I was looking around. It was really kind of interesting. I'm looking around the internet, and I'm checking out Mackinac Island, and lo and behold, a couple of the motels there, or hotels, really dropped their rates the last week. So if you're looking for a time, we were up there in October, and I happened to hit really cheap rates, plus the fact that we were having a really great weather pattern where you had a lot of sunshine, blue sky, and light winds there. So we just had an absolutely great time. And I'm going to go back. How many times have I been to Mackinac Island? 4 or 5. And of course, that is the Grand Hotel that you see up there. We walked up and down the Grand Hotel. Though I was not dressed for it, I'd stayed out of that area there where you had to have a coat and tie on. What year did the Grand Hotel open? The Grand Hotel opened a long time ago. They tried to get people to come west to Michigan. So this is before we had cars. So you made cars in I guess the late 1800s, 1890s, perhaps, when the Grand Hotel opened. Let's take a look, see what the answer is. 1887. So boy, that's a long time. That's at 138 years, if I'm trying to do the math in my head real quick here. But an elegant and interesting place. Somewhere in Time movie was filmed there, and we got to see where some of the shots were taken for that movie, the famous gazebo there too. We had our picture taken there. But it should be a good year for Mackinac Island. On this date in 1965, NASA launched the first commercial communication satellite. It was called Intelsat-1, but went by this nickname. We're not sure if it caught any worms. Well, let's see. What catches worms? Birds catch worms. Robins. How about we call it a robin? Is that the right answer? What's the right answer here? It is early bird. Well, I was close. The first weather satellite was Tyros, I believe, and that was I believe that was April 1 in the 1960s or something like that. I'm old enough to remember a song by a group called the Tornadoes that was about Telstar, and it had all this funky stuff going on in the back that simulated computers and whatnot. Really but that was Telstar. Must have been about 1962 or 63 when that song came out. Oh, we got anything else here? Spring break for the Grand Rapids Public Schools, and others on spring break, April 7 through 11. So, of course, we have 2 really cold days coming up for you on Monday and Tuesday. Sources say 20% of Michiganders travel for spring break. Number 1 destination, we talked about this, was Florida. And number 2, I don't know, I think anywhere throughout the South where there's warmer weather, and there certainly will be warmer weather down south that first full week of April. A lot of folks from Michigan go to Gulf Shores, Alabama, and a lot of people from New Orleans. Louisiana has mangrove swamps, and they don't really have good beaches for the Gulf. So a lot of people from Louisiana move and come over toward that area around Pensacola. And we've been down there a number of times. But yeah, great place to be. I have a couple of buddies that live down there, and they've been after me for the longest time to move down there and join them, play a little golf or something like that. I don't think I've played golf in, 2-3 years maybe. I should probably get out there and try and do that again. But used to play golf a little bit more than what I do now. Okay, I hope you enjoy spring break. What are the first video games that I remember? I remember Pac-Man. Remember Pac-Man? Eating everything up. Atari, I remember Atari. Nintendo, yes. Super Nintendo, well, like Mario remembers that, but I don't know much about it. First video games, in fact, I should look and see if we have any of those. I don't think we do anymore, but That is a picture of me, by the way, playing a bowling video game on the northeast side of town. We went to play some glow golf, and they let you play several of the video games for free. And we just had a great time doing bowling, and me especially trying to figure out how to curve the ball to get it in the old 1-3 pocket. So if you're looking for something to do, head over there and do some glow golf, indoor miniature golf. It was a lot of fun, and playing the video games afterwards was too. I was like a little kid there enjoying myself. Anything else? That is it for us. So hope you have yourself a great Sunday and a good week ahead. Enjoy your spring break if you're a kid that's watching. And thanks so much for patronizing us. BillSteffen.com is our website.